What if the only thing standing between you and the life you dream about is where you choose to focus today? Stay with me until the end, because the final lessons will truly change your perspective. There is a quiet truth that most people underestimate. Your focus is the currency of your future, not your talent, not your luck, not even your circumstances. Where your attention goes, your life begins to grow. Every day, without realizing it, you are investing your mental energy somewhere. Some people invest it in distractions, in comparison, in worrying about what others think. And slowly their dreams shrink, not because they lacked ability, but because their focus was scattered. But when you learn to direct your attention toward what truly matters, your growth, your discipline, your vision, something powerful begins to happen. Your energy aligns. Your actions become intentional. Your life starts moving in the direction of your focus. Think about this for a moment. Every successful person you admire didn't get there because they were never distracted. They got there because they kept returning their attention to what mattered most. Focus is not about being perfect. It's about choosing again and again to come back to your purpose. There will always be noise, opinions, expectations, social media, comparisons, doubts. The world is designed to pull your attention in 100 different directions. But your future belongs to the version of you who learns to say, "This is my path, and this is where my energy goes." Because the moment you stop giving your attention to what drains you, you create space for what builds you. I remember phases in my own journey where everything around me felt uncertain, new environments, unfamiliar industries, different cultures, higher expectations. There were moments when it would have been easy to focus on fear, on judgment, on whether I truly belonged. But I realized something very important. Confidence is not something you wait to feel. Confidence is something you build by focusing on preparation instead of pressure. Instead of worrying about the outcome, I chose to focus on the work. Learning, practicing, improving, showing up prepared. And slowly, that focus became my strength. Because when your attention is on growth, fear loses its voice. The truth is, most people don't fail because they aren't capable. Because they aren't capable, they fail because their focus is divided. One part of them wants success, while another part keeps seeking comfort. One part dreams big, while another keeps checking what everyone else is doing. And this constant split drains your power. Your mind becomes crowded. Your energy becomes weak. But when you learn to give your full attention to one direction, your growth, your habits, your long-term vision, your life gains momentum. Focus simplifies everything. It removes unnecessary decisions. It brings clarity, and clarity creates progress. But focus is not just about work or career goals. Real focus is about protecting your mental space. It's about being intentional with what you consume, what you listen to, what conversations you entertain, and what thoughts you allow to stay. Every piece of negativity you repeatedly engage with becomes a distraction from your future. Every moment spent comparing your journey to someone else's steals energy from your own path. Focus means choosing your inner environment carefully. Because the life you build outside will always reflect the thoughts you repeat inside. When your mind is clear, your direction becomes powerful. And here is the deeper, more spiritual truth about focus. It is an act of faith. When you focus on your future goals, you are choosing belief over doubt. You are telling yourself every single day, what I am building matters. There will be days when results don't show, days when progress feels slow, days when no one notices your effort. But focus means continuing anyway. It means trusting the process even when the outcome is invisible. Because success is never created in dramatic moments. It is created in quiet consistency, in repeated attention, in small daily decisions, made with intention. When your focus becomes steady, your life begins to change in ways you cannot immediately see. Your confidence grows because your actions are aligned with your goals. Your anxiety reduces because your energy is not scattered anymore. Your discipline becomes natural because your mind is no longer negotiating with distractions. And slowly, almost quietly, you begin to move ahead of the version of yourself who was once confused and overwhelmed. This is the power of focused attention. It transforms you before it transforms your circumstances. There is also something very important to understand. Focus is a daily choice, not a one-time decision. You will lose it sometimes. You will get distracted. You will feel pulled into things that don't serve you. That's human, but the power lies in returning again and again. Each time you bring your attention back to your priorities, you strengthen your mental discipline. Each time you choose growth over distraction, you train your mind to serve your future instead of your impulses. And over time, this repeated choice builds an unshakable sense of direction. The world today rewards distraction, notifications, endless scrolling, constant comparison. Everyone is showing their highlights, their achievements, their moments of success. And if you are not careful, you will start measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. But focus requires emotional maturity. It asks you to look away from the noise and return to your own journey. Because the truth is, your future does not depend on what others are doing. It depends on what you consistently give your attention to. When you truly understand the power of focus, your decisions become simpler. You start asking yourself one powerful question. Does this move me closer to my future or further away from it? And that single question begins to filter your habits, your time, your relationships, even your thoughts. You begin to invest your energy more wisely. You begin to protect your time more intentionally. You begin to live with direction instead of reaction. And that is when your life shifts from being busy to being purposeful. Most people wait for motivation to focus. But real growth happens when focus becomes your default, not your mood. Some days you will feel inspired. Some days you won't. But your future is built on the days you showed up without feeling like it. Focus is quiet, discipline. It is choosing your long-term vision over short-term comfort. It is choosing progress over distraction, even when no one is watching, even when no one is applauding. And one day, you will look back and realize something extraordinary. The life you once imagined is now your reality. Not because of one big opportunity, not because of luck, but because you gave your attention to what mattered, consistently, patiently, and faithfully. Asterisk, your future is not created by your dreams alone. It is created by what you choose to focus on every single day. Protect your attention, direct your energy, and stay loyal to your vision, because where your focus goes, your destiny follows. Asterisk, there is a powerful truth that many people don't want to hear. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. Motivation feels exciting. It comes with emotion, energy, inspiration. It makes you feel ready to change your life overnight. But motivation is like a wave. It rises and it falls. Some morning, NGS, you wake up feeling unstoppable. Other mornings you feel tired, distracted, or doubtful. And if your goals depend only on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline, on the other hand, is different. Discipline is a decision you make, regardless of your mood. It is the quiet promise you keep to yourself, even when the excitement fades. I've learned this lesson through experience. There were times when I didn't feel confident, times when I was exhausted, overwhelmed, or uncertain about the outcome. There were early mornings after long nights, long flights between commitments, moments when my body wanted rest and my mind wanted comfort. But I understood something very clearly. Success does not come to those who feel ready. It comes to those who show up anyway. Discipline means honoring your goals, even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Because the days you don't feel like trying are the days that truly shape your future. The problem is, most people fall in love with the idea of change, but not with the process of consistency. They start strong. They make plans. They set goals. But when the excitement disappears, so does the effort. And this is where discipline becomes your greatest strength. Discipline is not dramatic, it is not emotional. It is quiet, repetitive, and sometimes even boring. But that repetition is what builds mastery. Every time you choose action over excuses, you are training your mind to become stronger than your comfort. Every time you keep your commitment, even in small ways, you are building trust with yourself. And self-trust is one of the most powerful forms of confidence. When you become someone who does what they said they would do, your relationship with yourself changes. You stop doubting your ability. You stop waiting for the right mood. You stop negotiating with your goals. Instead, you begin to act from a place of certainty. Discipline removes the emotional drama from progress. It replaces inconsistency with structure. It replaces hesitation with momentum. And over time, that momentum creates results that motivation alone could never achieve. There is also a deeper, more spiritual side to discipline that many people overlook. Discipline is self-respect in action. It is the way you tell yourself, my future matters, my growth matters, my life is worth the effort. When you wake up early to work on your goals, when you practice your craft, when you choose learning over distraction, you are not just building skills, you are shaping your identity. You are becoming someone who honors their potential. And that identity change is far more powerful than any temporary burst of motivation. But discipline does not mean being perfect. It means being consistent enough. There will be days when you move slowly, days when you feel tired, days when your effort feels small. But discipline is not about intensity. It is about continuity. Small actions repeated daily will always defeat occasional bursts of effort. Think about it. A little progress every day becomes massive progress over time. The people you admire didn't succeed because they worked hard for a week. They succeeded because they kept going for years, quietly, steadily, without quitting when the excitement disappeared. Another truth about discipline is that it reduces mental stress. When your life is driven by motivation, you are constantly deciding whether you feel like doing something. That decision-making drains energy, but when discipline becomes a habit, the decision is already made. You don't ask, should I work today? You work because it's who you are. You don't ask, should I practice? You practice. You practice because it's part of your routine. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates mental clarity. I started this earlier. Clarity frees your energy for growth instead of internal conflict. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Comfort is easily available. Entertainment is endless. And that's exactly why discipline has become rare and powerful. The person who can stay focused when everyone else is distracted automatically moves ahead. The person who keeps working when others are waiting for inspiration builds an advantage that compounds over time. Discipline is not just about working harder. It is about protecting your attention, your time, and your direction from things that don't serve your future. Many people think discipline will make their life restrictive, But the opposite is true. Discipline creates freedom. When you are disciplined with your time, your health, your habits, and your focus, you create opportunities that would not exist otherwise. You earn confidence, you earn stability, you earn choices. Without discipline, life becomes reactive. With discipline, life becomes active. With discipline, life becomes intentional. You move from surviving your days to designing your future. And perhaps the most important thing to understand is this: discipline grows stronger every time you use it. The first time you choose effort over comfort, it feels difficult. The second time, slightly easier. Over time, discipline becomes part of your nature. What once felt hard becomes normal. What once required effort becomes automatic. And one day, you realize something incredible. You are no longer forcing yourself to stay consistent. Consistency has become who you are. So don't wait to feel motivated. Don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect timing, or the perfect energy. Start where you are. Do what you can. Show up even when your enthusiasm is low. Because your future is not built on your most inspired days. It is built on the ordinary days when you chose discipline over excuses. Asterisk motivation may start your journey, but discipline is what carries you to your destination. When you learn to show up without waiting to feel ready, you don't just change your habits, you change your destiny. Asterisk this earlier. Asterisk there comes a moment in life when you have to face a quiet but uncomfortable truth. Most people are not held back by a lack of opportunity, talent, or intelligence. They are held back because they keep negotiating with their own potential. They lower their standards when things become difficult. They delay their dreams when fear shows up. They shrink their ambitions to fit into environments that feel safe instead of stepping into spaces that demand growth. And slowly, without realizing it, they begin to live a smaller life than the one they were truly capable of building.